Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So I know I disappeared for quite some time, but I have a really good explanation for that. So as some of you might already know, if you follow my social media pages on Instagram and TikTok, you'll already know that I just recently opened our first ever physical store. So here's a little backstory. Natural Wonders has been operating online for over 7 years. But previously it's called Organic Touch Malaysia, and we just changed the brand name somewhere around last year, probably in June or July. And this year we managed to open our first ever physical store, so it's a big deal for us. Our store is in a brand new mall called Lalaport. It's in KL, and if you've been to Malaysia before, you'll know that KL is the heart of Malaysia. So if you ever come visit Malaysia again, do come by our store and say hi and let me know that you're from YouTube, because I really want to meet you guys. Okay, so let's not waste any more time. Here's a brand new recipe that I really want you guys to try, and it's called Turmeric Arbutin Underarm Brightening Scrub. I bet the name already explained itself. It's a scrub meant to brighten your underarms. So let's get to it. Alrighty, so the first step is always to sterilize your surfaces and equipment. So I'm just using a 70% rubbing alcohol, which is actually 70% isopropyl alcohol and 30% distilled water. You can either make this yourself or just grab some in your local drugstore. It's literally everywhere nowadays, especially since COVID. And then just wipe off the excess moisture with either a clean microfiber cloth like I'm using right now, or just a clean paper towel, whichever is more accessible to you. Okay, so we're gonna work with two different phases, a liquid phase and a solid phase. So we're gonna start off with the liquid phase. The first ingredient here is shea butter. Shea butter is very moisturizing, and what it's going to do is that it's going to moisturize those dry area, because oftentimes the skin appears dark just because it's dry. Apart from being a moisturizing agent, shea butter is also used to give the scrub a little bit of texture and body to it. If we do not put any sort of butter in this formulation, the whole scrub is just going to be watery and soft. But if that's the texture you're going for, then that's great. Next, we're going to add some olive oil, and I purposely chose olive oil for this scrub because I wanted something that is a little more rich and heavier as opposed to something lighter like sweet almond oil or jojoba oil. And since we're just going to apply this for the underarms and other dark areas on the body part, it's okay to use heavier oils because you don't have to worry about it clogging the pores. The next ingredient is cocamidopropyl betaine, and this is actually a surfactant. It's a mild surfactant derived from coconuts, hence the name cocoa in front. We're going to add this because we want something to emulsify the liquids and the oils, and we're not going to put any emulsifiers in here, so here's the magic binder. And now we're gonna double boil this bad boy because we need to melt the shea butter and let everything combine together. Once everything's all nice and melted, you just gotta give it a little mix to make sure everything's combined and set it aside to let it cool down before we proceed to adding the cool down phase ingredients. While waiting for it to cool, we can start weighing all the dry ingredients for the scrub part. We're going to start off with some fine sugar. You can actually use any kind of sugar that you like. If you like it fancier, you could actually use some soft brown sugar. It's definitely going to make the scrub softer, but I just like my plain white sugar, so here's it. And then I'm also going to add some grounded up glutinous rice. You can use glutinous rice flour, but it's definitely going to change the texture. But this one, I actually grounded up some real Japanese glutinous rice. I used a spice grinder to do that. Same method that I used to make those fine Epsom salts, and it still has a little bit of those scrubby bits, and that's what I like about it. Alright, so the next ingredient we have here is sodium bicarbonate, or sodium bicarb. And the reason we're using this is because it's super fine but still scrubby enough, and it gives your skin that silky finish. Sodium bicarb is also known to eliminate body odor. Now the next special ingredient is called zinc oxide. This ingredient doesn't help with brightening the skin, but it does help with healing it, and that's actually very crucial when you're trying to lighten dark areas. Zinc oxide will also help to balance uneven skin tone. And now the star ingredient, alpha arbutin. Alpha arbutin is actually a naturally derived brightening ingredient from bearberry plant. This is what's going to give our product that boost of brightening effect so that you can see the results even faster. And finally, the ingredient that's gonna make this turmeric scrub a turmeric scrub. The turmeric! Turmeric is very well known in the Asian culture for brightening and skin healing. It's not only healthy to eat, it's also actually high in antioxidants and anti-inflammatory, which is gonna help give your skin that beautiful glow. But you guys already know that. So now we just have to combine all the dry ingredients together. Give it a good mix. Break up the lumps. And set it aside. And let's come back to the liquid phase. Be sure that the temperature has dropped to below 50 degrees Celsius before we proceed to adding the cool down phase ingredients. And time for the extracts. Obviously I'm going to use a lemon extract since this is a brightening scrub. Lemon is known to have high vitamin C, which is also known to give the skin a bleaching effect. And then we're going to add some licorice extract. Licorice extract is good at healing inflammations, and again, when you're trying to brighten your skin, it's crucial that you put something to heal the skin as well. And then some glycerin for the humectant. And I'm using liquid Plus for the preservative. And we give this a really good mix before we proceed to adding the oils. This is optional, but I do add some vitamin E oil because vitamin E oil does help with skin brightening effect, but the product's gonna work just fine even without it. And since this scrub is naturally orange in color, I decided to just, scent it with orange. You could choose any sort of fragrances that you have on hand, just make sure that it's skin safe. And now we give this whole thing a really good mix. And you see how the oils doesn't separate with the other liquids? That's because we used cocamidopropyl betaine, which is a surfactant or a soap, and soaps are amphiphilic, which means they're both hydrophobic and hydrophilic, which allows it to dissolve both oils and water phases together. And then we just combine the two phases together, the liquid phase and the solids, and we get our scrub. And it's done, you guys! Time for packaging! And I'm using this white mouth flat jar, and it fits everything perfectly. This batch makes about 200 grams of the scrub. And since this is just a YouTube project, I don't have a ready-made label for this, so I'm using my label maker to just give this product a name. I'm calling it what it is, a Turmeric Arbutin Underarm Scrub. Nothing fancy. And here's my failed attempts at sticking the bottom labels correctly. It's so annoying. I just can't get it right. Duh. So there you have it, the Turmeric Arbutin Underarm Brightening Scrub. Man, that's a tongue twister. Check out the texture. It's so luscious and thick, and that's because of the shea butter. I purposely formulated it this way because I wanted something that's nice and thick. But if you want your scrub to be softer and watery, you could do one of three things. You could either omit the shea butter completely, or you could reduce the scrubby bits, or you could increase the liquid part, whichever that suits you best. To use the scrub, you just have to work with it like any other scrubs. Use it on a wet skin. Take a small amount, enough to cover the area that you want to scrub. Scrub in circular motion, and if you have the time, you could leave it on as a mask for a few minutes before rinsing it off. But if you don't have the time, you could definitely just rinse off right away. It's best to apply some underarm brightening lotion or cream if you have any, and I'm definitely going to share a formulation for that too in the coming videos. Oh yeah, and since this is a scrub, you don't have to use it every day. Just use it every other day or once every 2 to 3 days, and you're good to go. So yeah, that's it, you guys. Let me know what you think about this formulation. Give it a try and tag me in your videos if you upload it in your social media. Don't forget to follow me on our social media handles: Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook. You name it, we have it. And see you in the next video. Bye!